So what's good, y'all? We back with another video, and we here with the rankings. We are officially here with the position rankings. Somebody had mentioned the idea pretty much like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I decided to hold off. I felt it was too early. And I think now is the perfect time to get into it. We're about a month and a half, a month away from training camp. I think now is the right time to start coming out with these lists. The off season is still very much dry until anything meaningful happens. So let's get right into it. Starting off at number 10, I got LaMelo Ball. Now obviously the Hornets as a team haven't done much since he's got there. They have improved, obviously being like a play-in team, but haven't made the playoffs. Kind of disappointing for them to make the play-in again and have that motivation from the 2021 season and then just to get spanked by the Hawks in the play-in game in 2022. Not a good look. But as for LaMelo individually, was a first-time All-Star, had a really good year, improving from his rookie season when he won Rookie of the Year. And he's showing that improvement. He's showing that growth as a player. He's showing that growth as a leader. Obviously, defensively, he still doesn't give you a whole lot, and that was like the big thing for this whole team. They just didn't play a lot of defense, and that's why they didn't make the playoffs. But, you know, LaMelo still has a lot of room to improve. I think he can get better on defense. He's got the frame, got the long wingspan, got the height. He moves well. Just got to give a little more effort, but offensively, we all know he can do it all. He can shoot, he can finish, he can play make. He's one of the best rebounding guards, and he gives you a little bit of everything. So LaMelo Ball is definitely a top 10 point guard, and he still has a whole lot of room to improve. Now, at number 9, I got SGA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the Thunder as a team, horrible, trash. But they got some nice little young players, and SGA is at the forefront of that. He is the face of the franchise. And this is another guy. If you've been watching my videos, you know how I feel about him. I think he's a really good player. He's kind of in the same boat with LaMelo. He has a lot of room to improve. That's the scary part. Like, he can one day climb into the top 5 point guards, you know, 5 years from now, 4 years from now. But right now, he's on that, you know, 9-10 range. And that's fine. He's still really young. He can score. We all know what he can run the show. We all know he plays some solid defense. But he's got to work on that perimeter shooting. He's got to be able to knock down the 3. Shooting 30% from 3 is not good enough for a point guard, you know, a perimeter player. And I just can't put him above the guy that I'm about to name next because of those reasons. And at number 8, I got Darius Garland. Darius Garland really kind of shocked a little bit, kind of shocked a few people. Didn't shock me. I knew what his potential was. But considering a lot of people going into last season would say that, you know, Colin Sexton was the Cavs' best player, now we can all say officially that it's Darius Garland. Darius Garland gives you what Colin Sexton can't, which is super efficient scoring. Now, you know, make no mistake about it, Colin Sexton is pretty efficient. It's not like he's a shot chucker shooting 40%. But Darius Garland just gives you that modern day point guard flow. He doesn't really force it. You know, Colin Sexton is just a small 2 guard. That's what he is. He's a small 2 guard. He is looking to score, not really much of a facilitator though. And Darius Garland is the opposite. He is a small point guard, but he can pass. He can pass and he can score at a pretty solid level or a pretty good level. So that alone, you know, really high ceiling, because when you look at the guys like Trae Young, Steph Curry, these guys like that, they score from, you know, pretty much anywhere on the floor, and it's in an efficient rate. And I think Darius Garland one day can climb up to that level. Not Steph Curry, but maybe Trae Young. I think it's possible. So Darius Garland, with him being probably the main piece of this Cavs team, and a main reason, you know, the main reason why the Cavs were even a play-in team to begin with, I say he deserves a spot, with him also getting that first All-Star game under his belt as well. Now, number 7, some people might not agree, but for now, Damian Lillard is 7 on my list. And it's not because he's trash, it's not because he's washed. He's not in that, you know, Russell Westbrook boat where I'm like, you know, I'm not feeling it. Damian Lillard, I think, will have a great season for the Blazers. But it's kind of that thing now where it's like the young players are starting to get better and better. And Lillard, obviously, he's coming back from that injury, and I think he'll bounce back. I don't know if he's better than the guys I'm about to name that are ahead of him, though. That's the thing. But obviously, we know who he is. And, you know, at the end of this season, he can very well be back in the top 3 very well. So no disrespect to him, but right now he is number 7 on my list. And at number 6, I got Trae Young. Trae Young had a career year this year, went off considering what he had done in the 2021 playoffs. He went out there and just added on to it in the 2022 season. As for the Hawks as a team, it was a disappointing year, but for Trae, it was a really good one. He really went out there and showed why he had deserved to get paid after those 2021 playoffs, because he went out there and he balled out. He flat out balled out. He was giving you the efficient scoring. We all know that he's a great passer. He's not going to play defense, but, you know, he's small. He can't play defense. It's just not his thing. But his impact, that's the thing with a lot of these players, the impact. And you're going to notice that a lot about the guys I'm about to name that are ahead of Trae Young. The high impact in these guys is why they are on this list, or on the high part of this list. And Trae Young is very much a high impact player. He just needed a little more help around him, and the Hawks definitely did get that by getting DeJounte Murray. So we'll see how things work out for them. But as for Trae Young, I'm expecting him to get better and better every single year. Still really young, and he's not even in his prime yet. And he's already the 6th best point guard in the NBA, in my opinion. Now, number 5, I got Ja Morant. And Ja Morant, come on now. MVP year, most improved player of the year. He did it all. And to be honest, I wouldn't even give him that most improved player of the year. That's how good he was. He didn't even need it. But he won it. And then obviously, like I mentioned, he was, in my opinion, a top 3 MVP candidate. He made the Grizzlies relevant. Like, that alone makes you a top 5 point guard. Let's be real. The Grizzlies, when they were good with Marc Gasol and Mike Conley, they got no respect because they went out there and, yeah, they, you know, grit and grind, tough team, but they weren't fun. They weren't a fun team, and we all knew that they weren't going to ever really win anything. But Ja Morant has given the Grizzlies that life. They are a fun team to watch. They are showtime. They are box office, like Stephen A. likes to say. And Ja Morant is the main attraction. He goes out there, he's dunking on guys, he's hitting these acrobatic shots. But it's not only that, the fact that he's a highlight reel, it's the fact that he is a dominant player. He goes out there and he's going out to kill you every time. He's going out there every single game. He's giving it his all. He's finishing all over the rim. Can he shoot? He got better, but I'm still not going to say him, like, you know, give him the credit of being like a knockdown shooter, but definitely has improved in that area. And it's only, if he gets better, if he keeps getting better and better, he might one day be the number 1 point guard in the NBA, or number 2. But right now, he's number 5, and that's really good for a guy that's still extremely young. That's impressive to be a top 5 point guard with the likes of guys like Steph Curry and etc., the guys I'm about to name. Now, number 4, I got Chris Paul. Chris Paul is the OG. He is old as hell, but he is still a top 5 point guard. I'm not going to let people hate on him like that. You know, has he had his little playoff failures? Yes. Did he choke versus Dallas? Kind of. I'm not going to lie to you. He kind of did. Gave you some disappointing games. But every year, he makes the teams way better. I mean, let's be real. Look at all the stops he's been at. When he got traded to the Clippers, they went from basically being a bottom feeder to one of the best teams in the league. He goes to OKC for that 1 year. That 1 season, a team that basically had no chance of making the playoffs by percentages. Everybody was looking at them like, oh, they're a lottery team. Chris Paul had them as the number 4 seed in the Western Conference in 2020. And then on the Rockets, they came so close to making the finals, but just missed out. And I think if he doesn't hurt his hamstring in 2018, they very much win the NBA Finals. And then obviously the Phoenix Suns, a laughingstock in the NBA for years. They get Chris Paul paired up with Devin Booker, and they're one of the best teams in the NBA. And they came off a franchise record 64 wins last season. Chris Paul, as we all know, one of the best high-impact players in NBA history. Just don't got the ring to back it up, but we all know what he's about. Even the people that hate on him know what he's about. Now, is he going to give you the 25 points per game and the 12 assists? No. He's going to give you 14, 15 points per game, 9, 10 assists, and that's good. That's good enough. He goes out there, he does his job. Pretty solid defender, not the greatest because he's undersized as well, but he gives more effort than like Trae Young would. And I'd say he's a top 5 point guard. He is definitely a guy that's a top 5 point guard in this league at that age. And that's why I'm giving him the number 4 spot on this list. Now, at number 3, I got Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, come on, box office. Let's be real. I mean, he had a little disappointing series versus Boston, but, you know, let's be honest. It's Kyrie Irving. He goes out there, he can give you 70 if he wants to. That's how great he is. Now, the problem with him isn't the basketball, it's the drama. But we all know when he's on the floor, he's going to give you major buckets. It's going to be crazy. Like, he's going to put on a show. He is one of the best shows to watch in the NBA when it comes to box office attraction and just watching him play the game and being a magician on the floor. He's one of those guys that you want to watch. Now, as for the Nets, a lot of questions about them. A lot of questions. I'll make a video on that real soon, actually. But, you know, as for the Nets, we'll see what happens with them. But with Kyrie Irving, we all know. He is a top 3, top 5 point guard in the game, anywhere you want to put him. But you can't put him no lower than 5. You definitely cannot put him no lower than 5. And he deserves a spot on this list, and I'm putting him at number 3. Now, number 2, I got Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is the best young player in the NBA. And it's really not close. Like, I'm sorry to John Morant or Zion or whatever you want to say, but it ain't close. That man Luka, yeah, he plays no defense, but he's got that, like, LeBron impact where he can take teams that aren't even supposed to be that good and make them like almost finals contenders. And that's exactly what he did with Dallas. He took a team that was pretty much mediocre. Jalen Brunson, a decent player. Spencer Dinwiddie, a decent player. Dorian Finney-Smith, another decent player, and he took them to the Western Conference Finals, lost to the eventual NBA champs, but that's fine. The man is literally 22, about to be 23, I don't know, he's around there, 22, 23 years old. He's the best young player in the game. We all know he goes out there and he's got that great feel for the game. He slows it down to his pace and he destroys you. He scores from anywhere on the floor, even though he's not like a knockdown three-point shooter, he just takes like a high volume of them. But make no mistake about it, the man is special. And when Steph Curry retires, or when Steph Curry shows a little signs of stopping, whenever that time is, Luka Doncic will be the best player, or the best point guard. Maybe, who knows, the best player in the NBA. Who knows? That's how great Luka Doncic is. And then at number 1, I pretty much gave it away. But did I really need to? I mean, you pretty much knew who it was. Steph Curry. Do I need to get into it? Finals MVP. NBA champion multiple times. He is an MVP. He is the greatest shooter of all time. We all know what he's about. He goes out there. He can average 30 if he wants to. He can average 25 and 10 if he wants to. It doesn't matter. Whatever he wants to do, he can do. He has literally changed the game of basketball. And that alone makes him the best point guard in the NBA. I mean, if you want to say he's the best point guard in NBA history, I have no problem with that as well. That's how great Steph Curry is. And that is my top 10 list. Those are my top 10 point guards going into the 2022-2023 NBA season. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you agree with some of them? Do you disagree? It's fine if you disagree. Put it in the comments. I want to get your guys' opinions on it. Don't come at me disrespectful though. Don't come at me disrespectful over it. Don't get salty because I have your favorite player at number 10 or on the honorable mentions list. Don't get tight. You know what I mean? But anyways, you know what to do. You know, like, comment, subscribe. This has been a checkup where we talk hoops and hoops only. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.